Hey everybody, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpening. What I want to show you today real quick is my two 1x30s. I just made some modifications to the Wen that I bought probably a year or so ago. I didn't use it a whole lot, um, but now that I've made some pretty cool modifications to it that were really easy to do, I'm really happy with it. And so let's flip the camera around here and show you the two 1x30s. Okay, so on the right, I have my Win, which is the newer of the two, and then this Harbor Freight is easily 10 years old. Um, the conversion I just did to this one, you can see, so it had a really huge tool rest. So I cut it down, and I'm actually going to cut it down even some more to make it even more perfect for knife grinding. So by getting rid of this big giant round tool rest, by cutting the old one down in pieces, I was able to make a nice size tool rest that's useful for knives. And I can set the angle on it, and it's been working great. The only thing I'm going to do different, I am going to make one more final modification to it. I'm going to cut off all of this even here. So I'm going to cut that whole corner and take even more off so that this top part is just nice and thin right there. Because the only thing I'm having to do, and I'll show you real quick here, when I'm doing a small knife like this, you can see if I didn't have all this here, I could get this right to my belt. Um, so the closest I can get in is here. So I'm usually kind of doing like this and going in. On the other side where it's right up next to the belt, you can see I can easily grind the one side, and I'm just going to cut this final piece off and make it so that I can grind both sides perfectly. I did also add a glass platen to this one. I actually did that before I made this, but I didn't love using it without a guide. Um, so now that I have the angle guide and I can use my regular angle cube angle setting guide on here, and I have this set for 17 degrees. This is what I'm doing my rough um, cleanup on knives that are extremely dull. I bring it to this first and grind away. Couple, it only takes like usually one or two passes, and it's ready to go. And then let's talk a little bit about the one on the left. So on the one on the left, I love this one too, and this is my variable speed Harbor Freight that I converted following Cliff Curry's instructions. It has the sewing machine motor on it, which you can see back here, so it's variable speed. It can go both directions. You can see this one's currently going up, which is nice because this one tracks down, so I can use it for stropping, and that's pretty much the majority of what I do with this machine. I have it set for 1900 RPMs, and I do a lot of stropping on it. I have this one, I believe, is nope, three. This one's a 3 micron leather strop that I spray with 3 micron diamond spray, and I have a 1 micron that I like too, and I use both of those um, and just change them out real quick, and that's how I do most of my stropping. But I will also use this for grinding sometimes, and sometimes doing some sharpening. But for the most part, this is my stropping machine. This is just to prep a knife to get out chips, really ugly bevels, cut some new bevels in quickly before I take it to the Tormek. And that's how I use my two 1x30s in my shop. And I will tell you how the little chopping off of this is going to go. It shouldn't be a problem. I think that'll work out great. I had no problem cutting the aluminum on this piece that is currently there, and I'm just going to take that last little, I'm going to cut a little L out of there so that I can get right in there with just about any size knife. But that's my two 1x30s, and tell me what you think. Okay, so I did make that final cut. So to get the tool rest more out of the way for small knives, and now I can get in there and and be able to go on both sides and not be running into that that side hitting here, hitting on the on the bolster area of some knives. So we'll see how that goes, but I think it should be pretty good. In fact, let's test it out here on let's test it out on this one. Yep. I'm gonna work around my camera, but yeah, that's gonna work great.